Hi, I'd like to welcome you to this Fusion on Demand presentation called Exploring Analytics Builder with the University of Windsor with a focus on course section usage. My name is Timo Young. I'm an online learning systems administrator with the Center of Teaching Learning at the University of Windsor in Windsor, Ontario. My main role is Brightspace administration with a small focus on Brightspace data. So today I'm going to walk you through what we mean first by LMS usage reporting, defining usage, the design of the report, the result, and some next steps. So let's get started into LMS usage reporting. So the Center of Teaching Learning is the department that oversees the LMS, and we are expected to report on its usage to the institution. One way we do this is publishing usage percentages grouped by faculty and semester that you see on the left-hand side. And with our move to Brightspace, there was a need to rebuild this report. This report was built in Analytics Builder, as the Insights dashboard doesn't offer this type of information. So let's go into defining usage. In our previous LMS, we struggled with either underreporting or overreporting usage because of the data models available. One model did not capture some courses that should be included, and the other included sites that needed to be excluded. When building a new report in Brightspace, we wanted to ensure reporting was more accurate. So defining usage, every course offering is active toggle, which I think would be the first that you would look at. However, there are some caveats that we found when exploring it. Instructors can set their site inactive at any time. There is no audit log of if an offering was set to active previously, and it doesn't account for merged courses. We do have a lot of course sections that we do merge, for example, section 2 into section 1 or cross-listed courses, and it is important that we track that to ensure we have an accurate count of usage. I will now go over the final definition of usage that we came up with through discussion. The first criteria is the course offering is active. The second criteria is the course was accessed by a learner. And the third criteria is the course offering is merged. This criteria ensured that we captured sites that were active at some point and were used by students, and recognizing the number of sections that have been merged into a single offering. I will dive into each of these in a moment. To get an accurate percentage of usage, we do exclude non-academic courses such as sandbox and club sites and any offerings without a semester of faculty. Since we are interested in only academic courses, and academic courses automatically have semester and faculty assigned, this is an efficient way to exclude sites that we did not want. I'm now going to review the structure of the dataset. We built this using Analytics Builder, but this can be replicated in an on-prem system just by downloading the respective datasets. This is a combination of three main datasets to address our three criteria of a course that use Brightspace. The first dataset is what we call the course faculty semester dataset. This is a core dataset that we use for other datasets and is built from four datasets, the organizational units and organizational units ancestors datasets, and two custom datasets, semesters and faculties, which I will take you through in a moment. The second is a custom SQL query to pull courses that had a student access it to match our second criteria. And the third is external data housed locally with our merge information. Sometimes we have instructors that will use one course site for 2 or 3 section offerings. When this happens, we merge the class lists from both course sections into one course site, and the unused course site remains inactive and unaccessed. I'm now going to walk you through the first custom dataset that we built, which is the semesters dataset. This dataset is a combination of the organizational units and organizational units ancestors dataset. The organizational units ancestors dataset lists the parents of organizational units. This dataset filters the organizational units datasets for semesters only that you see at the bottom and non-deleted organizational units. And it matches it with an ancestor org unit, which will result in showing the org unit ID, which you see in the far right, for every offering which has one, and therefore filters out courses without a semester. As you see that this is being done with an inner join. And this is the faculties dataset, which is constructed very, very similar to the semesters dataset. Instead of filtering for semester, we filter for faculty, and it's a very similar inner join between the two datasets. And this is our core dataset after putting together the faculties and semesters dataset that we created earlier and now merging along with the organizational units and organizational units ancestors datasets. and filtering out to only capture course offerings. We now have a core data set that tags every single course offering with its respective faculty and semester. I'm now going to walk you through the second component of our data set, which is a custom SQL query done in Analytics Builder, which will help us with the second condition of our usage definition, which was courses accessed by a learner. This SQL query lists every course offering that has been accessed by a learner at any time, only through the web browser. It does not include accesses done by the app. However, it is quite rare to have a student only access the LMS exclusively by the app. This query joins the course access table with the enrollments and withdrawals table on both user ID and org unit ID to make sure we have a match exclusively matching the course and the particular student. Our role ID 110 is our student role, and we're only checking for people who are enrolled. We don't track drops in this particular query. So if there is a case where students could have been added to a Brightspace site, accessed the site, and been dropped, and that would count. So this is the final combined data set after combining the course faculty semester set that we built earlier and the course access learner SQL query that I just spoke about in the last slide. You see the resulting data set here. You will notice it is a full join because we do want to capture courses that have not been accessed by a learner. If it was an inner join, we'd only capture courses accessed by learners, which we don't want. You can see here in the data set, we have filtered out some columns that are not necessary, but you do see at the far right, there is a column called accessed or active. This is a calculated field done within Analytics Builder that checks for a value of is active, which is 1, or the word accessed under status. If either of those exist, the column will be set to yes. So as you can see in these three sample rows, this active is set to 1. Therefore, you see yes has been put into that column. So our course merges are handled by a custom middleware, which tracks merges in a database table. We do use this table to track offerings that have merged and flag them accordingly. Our definition of primary relationship are merges used for grading. For example, section 2 gets folded into section 1. Non-primary is typically used for club sites and organizations. Sites. All the previous tables are joined together. So the merge table that you saw previously and the merge table a couple slides ago. And then we create a calculated field, or if you do this locally, it is an if-then statement, which sets a column to true when accessed appears in the column from accessed learner, which means the course has been accessed by a student. Is active is set to true. Or the active and primary relationship are true from the course merge mapping table. And you'll see the final result here. You see there's a merge accessed active access flag at the far left, which again looks for those flags that I mentioned earlier. So this is a sample pivot table listing the results from the data set on the last slide. This pivot table was done in Excel, given we can't put external data within Analytics Builder currently. However, once we have the ability to put in external data, this could equally be done within Analytics Builder. This is just a sample chart showing graduate courses, and you can see it matches the chart that I showed you at the beginning of this presentation. So some of the caveats and issues that we found with this data set so far is that the numbers do include canceled courses, as we do create a Brightspace site for every section listed in our student information system. We do have course sites that have courses that never ran to begin with or were canceled after they were started. Since we don't have a direct connection with Brightspace, we cannot tag our courses as being canceled and filter them out. Some non-academic courses are included if they were created using an academic template and therefore have that faculty and semester relationship. We do include courses that typically do not use the LMS, such as thesis and exchange courses. And the course access data set has an upper limit of about 2.5 million rows. Therefore, that second condition may run into an issue where a course was legitimately accessed, but that access has fallen off the data set, and therefore it would tag it as not accessed. So the next step that we have is looking into improving the accuracy of the report and looking at the available information and data sets and seeing what else we could pull in to make this report as accurate as possible. One factor we're currently exploring is time spent in courses, specifically looking at learner time spent in courses and setting a threshold within that, and adding that to the criteria of a course being used. I want to thank you for listening to this Fusion On Demand presentation, reviewing our course usage data set. If you have any questions or feedback, please feel welcome to reach out to us at brightspace@uwindsor.ca. Thank you again.